Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain. We got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the Green Lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. You can always find this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, and of course the sunken city of Rapture, where a man is entitled to the sweat of his own brow. I am of course your host, Mike G, and with me as always is my sarcastic co-host,
Winter Sturt Event! Wait for Half-Life 3.
You're jumping the gun there, butter.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun there, butter. He's not that sarcastic, but he's very excited about Half-Life 3, which is coming out next week. It's not. Don't listen to my
Wait a minute. I'm like, should I actually click on that article?
You would just cut off the podcast now and go buy it.
Yep.
Me and you both. We're like, what the hell? I'll just
take my money,
just
Gabe.
Gabe, we've had it up to here with your bullshit. Just bring out the damn game.
I've been watching the back catalog of Funhouse, where they have like the Wheelhouse game, where it will be like anyone can do this. Just look up thewheelhouse.com, and it will like spin a wheel, and it will find a random Steam game for you, and you can pay for it and play it. And almost all the games are garbage, and I'm convinced now that Steam is like the wild, wild west of video games.
Man, you're not telling a lie. Steam? Man, there's a new game out there everyone's playing called Super Seducer. Have you heard this one?
Ooh, no.
It's super dumb.
Wait, is that kind of like you're like a cop that comes home chasing the wife and her lover around? Kind of like a 30 Days Dead by Daylight sort of scenario?
Man. Oh. It's like, remember those old Panasonic like video games where it's just live action, but you choose almost like dang, I can't remember. But pretty much it's a game based for creepers on how to get your creep game skill up. And it's like the most disgusting game I've ever seen, where it's like it puts you in a scenario and it's live action, and like you're walking down the street and you see a girl coming towards you. Where do you stand to engage her in conversation? Do you
I've seen that.
Do you walk behind? Do you walk on the side of her? Do you stop dead center where you are, or do you walk directly in front of her? The answer is you walk directly in front of her, because that gives her less options to circle around you and try to ignore you. It's like stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god, this is disgusting. But Steam is the home for things like that. And you can put out any crappy, unfinished, clickbait, garbage game on Steam, and they'll take it. It's like you said, it's like the Wild Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the worst, but the best, because if you want a crappy video game, just go onto Steam. You'll find more than you want. It's the lament configuration of video games.
Yes, and you'll hear me reference Funhouse a lot more. I really like them, and to the point where I saw like, oh, they have an opening for a video editor. I have no clue how to do it, but I'm gonna look into it. And I'm like, see you later, Masters of the Nerdiverse, and I become.
Shit. See you later.
And then I block off the central quadrant of the Nerdiverse.
This
is our Funhouse.
You're dead to me, Winter.
Hey, man. It's a cutthroat world.
I will not stand here and allow you to sully the great name of the Nerdiverse in your respective quadrant. Can't. I'm going to go there.
I'm like the Trump. I'm Trump of the Central Quadrant.
You know
I'm
what?
just telling it like it is.
You're about to get impeached, bro.
Yeah?
You in your Steam games and your Funhouse mirrors. We run a
Speaking
tight.
of speaking of Trump, did you watch that video of him talking about the Space Force?
No, man, I don't watch anything Trump because it depresses my soul, bro.
This would make your day, okay? I was hesitant of posting it on my Facebook because I was waiting for people going, yeah, but and then that's just they link and they start like battling in the comments. I'm like, no, this is funny.
I don't want that kind of heat, bro.
He's talking about like with the new technology and the wave of the future, it could very well be that we need a space force. We have the Air Force, we have the Navy, we have the Army, but we need a space force. And my mind just goes, power metal. Like,
Winner.
yeah.
I swear sometimes on the podcast, right? Maybe like in passing, but I don't like swearing a lot because I like this to be a PG show. PG-13, mind you.
So I don't expect it to come up.
Right? But when you tell me things like Trump wants a space force to put guns in space to defend nothing, it makes me say, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, well, I don't want this. This is the worst, man. Like, what?
Well, this is our quadrant. This is the nerdiverse that we're talking about here. So
Trump has no place in the nerdiverse. That's first of all.
Well, there's a couple of reactions to this.
The only Trump-like entity within the nerdiverse is Biff Tannen, and that's alternate future Biff Tannen from Back to the Future 2. That's the only Trump-like creature within the entire nerdiverse is alternate reality Biff Tannen, where he's distorted the time-space continuum so much that he's created a hellscape. That's the only version of any kind of hint at Trump.
Will you let me finish my story? You can do your
my diatribe later. Whatever. So anyway, Space Force, okay.
When he says that, he chuckles and then he like looks in the back and he like look at all those reporters, and I can just see the reporters going, "Did the president just say Space Force?" And then you just hear scribble, 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 or like that's when they cut to the newsmen like running to the phone booth to get to the operator. Get me to the New York Times.
I can't.
And he goes, yeah, just a bunch of fake news. I'm like, but you just said Space Force.
He said the words Space Force.
Yeah. And then my mind automatically went to Moonraker, James Bond Moonraker.
You know what I think? I think of Zap Brannigan in frickin' Futurama. That's what I think when I hear the words Trump's Space Force.
Not Trump. It's going to be American. It's going to be American Space Marines, and you know what? And this is what my friend said. She's like, well, the reason why he's wanting to do this is because he probably knows that there's something up there.
No, man. Okay.
Yeah.
So Trump is going to protect the American skies, right? But he's also
American space, not skies.
But he's also gonna. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's also going to protect the American spaceways. So he's only going to patrol America's border within space. So that little American shape is going to be like a cookie cutter through space.
That's the problem with your logic there. We own all of space.
Oh, okay. I meant to assume that he only wanted to protect America's universe, not.
No, he is
Earth's.
protecting America's universe. The thing is, we own all of it.
Can we move
Manifest
on?
destiny.
Everything the light touches, right?
Yeah.
Even black holes. How was your week, man?
I'm trying to get up this.
Are you designing the uniform for the space police?
I'm just like copy and pasting a form of like the Spartan armor with Starship Troopers and going like, what you need is space chaplains. And that's when I come in.
A good bug is a dead bug.
Yeah. Man, that would simplify everything.
That would simplify so much.
If we find out that there's bugs in space and they're kind of violent to us, then we
just a little bit. Just a little.
We are all
have to be a lot violent
against the bugs.
That's
we can now do semi-racist because we could say semi-racist stuff because they're bugs.
Human beings in their core are shitty people, so we need a focus. That's not us. So because we're cannibalizing our own race, the human race, right?
Here's the hot take from Mike G.
I'm just saying, like, you give an external entity, like you said, the bugs, then all those jerk racists can just be racist towards bugs.
Yes, we all know the ending of Watchmen, people. It's true.
It actually happened. We just got neuralized and we were made to forget. That's what happened.
Yeah. You know they're making a TV show of Watchmen, right?
It's gonna have the giant bug. It's gonna have the giant squid monster in the end of the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Or by her other name, Rosie O'Donnell. Whoa! Thank you very much.
Rosie O'Donnell has enough problems, dude. She has enough problems, man.
Yeah.
Ain't enough victories.
I'm an insult comic from the 80s. Yeah.
What? Winter, the insult comic, comic priest.
Have you heard about this Tanya Harding?
What is the deal?
I don't know why
radios?
I'm doing the Def Jam version.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You're killing me. What else did you do with your week, man?
You would think. Yeah. I did a lot of work around the house. I'm watching. I have like 2 episodes left of Sons of Anarchy, and I'll finish by rewatching of it. I'm doing some brainstorming of what I want the winter brand to be. Doing some other things about like I don't really. I did some things in the past, like have like a portfolio website, which I don't necessarily think is like I'm there yet to have a portfolio site.
Yeah.
So instead of paying for that, I might be doing like a side project of like weekly 5-minute podcast of what people are looking for in Netflix.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Like, because that's one of the joys that I have of finding random things to watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime. But I just need to stay active.
That's all never stop. That's the secret.
Yeah.
Man. Just never
and
stop,
hopefully
man.
like, NPR Wisecrack or like something like
something
everything
picks you up, right?
Yeah, like we'll give you $30,000 to work on this. I'm like, you had me at 30.
You had me at dollars.
Yeah.
Right. I feel you, man. Yeah, always work on your self portfolio, bro. You gotta put yourself out there, man.
Yeah. And I won't defect from the Masters of the Nerdiverse unless they pay me some money.
No, man. Masters of the Nerdiverse, you're paid with the goodwill of the Nerdiverse, dog. And through Fiddle Faddle. It's a lot of Fiddle Faddle to be gained, my good friend.
They get stuck in my teeth. You should know better.
Well, we'll figure out a nice equal or lesser value alternative for you.
Rotisserie chicken.
That's not equal or lesser. It'll be like one leg of rotisserie chicken.
Oh,
and it's
man,
it's lukewarm, dude. It has to be lukewarm.
All right. How was your week?
Jeez. For sure. My week was weird. So I finally got around to watching Saban's Power Rangers. The recent horrible remake that recently came out.
Saban's is Japanese for garbage. Okay, continue.
Saban is garbage, and that's Japanese English. The guy himself is a piece of work. I'm not going to go into him, but the movie wasn't half bad, right? It wasn't half bad, man. It just took itself too seriously. You know what I mean? It's that problem where, I mean, the first Power Rangers movie is dope because you're a little kid when you first saw it, or that's the only reason it's dope to me. And that movie super didn't take itself seriously. It was real goofy and dumb and Ivan Ooze and all that. But this one had an approach like Chronicle. You know what I mean? It took itself ultra serious. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you have to poke fun at yourself a little bit when you're making a movie about the Power Rangers, right?
Yes. Like, they should have gotten the director of a movie that I watched today, Triple X, Return of Xander Cage.
I love that movie, dude. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk about Triple X for a second. Why were they surfing on motorcycles?
Why not?
The water?
You have to understand, this is Vin Diesel's money maker.
This is
Fast and Furious,
man.
Yeah, this is Fast and Furious, and this. Well, yeah, Fast and Furious and Triple X. Those are his franchises.
Why
Well,
did
and
Ice
also
Cube show up, man?
because he was in the series,
I get it.
yeah, it's like when that guy from Tokyo Drift showed up for.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's one guy who I can't stand. He's part of Xander Cage's crew, and his superpower is just getting the crowd hype. He doesn't know fighting. He's not a gun guy. He's not in demolitions. It's just a guy who just gets the party started. You know what I'm talking about?
That I was showing this at a youth center,
Yeah.
and I was walking around making sure I actually broke a door midway because I was so pumped up about Xander Cage.
I hate that guy. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't remember. Was he the one with like the blonde highlights?
No, that was Tony Jaa. There was Ruby Rose, who was the sniper. There was the I think Irish or English dude who's the car guy.
The Hound.
The Hound, right? And then there was the Asian guy whose power was to get the party started.
Michael Bisping, he was the Asian guy.
Yeah, he was the guy whose power was only to be a club DJ. That's his only skill he brought to the table. That he could infiltrate clubs and become the DJ and get everybody distracted. You know, you must remember. It's the worst.
I think that I do remember a club scene, but I was like,
it's so dumb.
I was at the other side of the room.
There?
I was even talking to my coworker who was like kind of freaking out, like, I don't like this movie at all. She said,
I hate the movie so much, but I love it. I love that Donnie Yen is super is like a caricature of himself in this movie.
Well, it's a prequel to Rogue One, so
it is a prequel to Rogue One.
Yeah.
When he was like surfing on that motorcycle on the water, he was like, "I am one with the Force, and the Force is one with me," and that's how he got through it. But yeah,
or we could get really into the weeds and consider it like a prequel in the style of Cloud Atlas.
Then everything's a prequel, right? Cloud Atlas is all connected.
Everything's a prequel to its own sequel, my dude.
You're making my brain bleed. Just not enough Power Rangers. Watch it. It's free now. I'm trying to power through Jessica Jones because that came out. Oy vey, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm a woman.
That's not the plot, dude. That was last season's plot.
Okay. I'm a woman with power.
Okay, that's the plot.
Okay.
You're killing me. Oh, man.
They need me to write this stuff.
I know, man. For some reason, it'll be set in feudal Japan.
Yeah. Memoirs of a Geisha, Jessica.
Jeez. It'll be like a Todd McFarlane action figure. It'll be like Samurai Action Jessica.
Uh-huh.
This season lacks a central villain that's interesting. Like, Tennant killed it as Kilgrave last season, and he was really the focal point of the story. But as far as I've seen it up to like episode 7 or 8, this story really lacks a really good villain, and it puts all the focus on Jessica, and that character is just not that compelling to me by herself. She's kind of standing on a ledge this season, and it's not a lot of action. It's a lot of weird cutscenes to hide the fact that there's no action. She doesn't do fight scenes. It's a hard watch, but you know.
Let me ask you this, Marvel sympathizer. If there wasn't a saturation, in my opinion, oversaturation of superhero stuff, would you take this season differently than what you're reviewing it as right now?
Here's the thing, and that's a very good question. Is that
I know it is.
You are a master of the nerdiverse, after all.
Yeah.
Given the saturation, or as you would say, oversaturation of the superhero genre in the last, let's say, 10 years, because that's how long this Marvel experiment's been going, yes, I would say this would be better than anything that, if nothing came out and it was just this, then it would be amazing, right?
Right.
It would be a tour de force, whatever. But you have to stand this up with what we've recently gotten. You can't just put it in an isolated box and judge it on its own merit versus this other everything that's come out before it. Like,
in fact,
Punisher.
Marvel doesn't want you to do that because of how many crossovers it does.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that Marvel wants you to understand this corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the problem with these Netflix films, or TV shows for that matter, is that they don't really acknowledge the films, right? They acknowledge them, but only on a very simplified matter. So
Yeah.
Jessica Jones doesn't really bring up Captain America or Thor or any of the main film heroes or villains for that matter. It's all real isolated into its own thing, but they tell you that it exists. They externally tell you that this is in the same New York that the incident happened, and you're supposed to believe it because that's what they've told you. But there's no evidence in the content that will actually give you any signs that these characters are breathing and living within the same ecosystem. You know what I mean? It's the same problem with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where Marvel kind of made a left turn. Where they were like,
we call that jumping the shark, I believe.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say, and I'm not trying to be a Marvel sympathizer here, but I'm just saying, like, as a thematic place that Marvel changed their mind somewhere down the road within these last 10 years, and the TV shows have gotten kind of the shaft. And they don't get the same, they aren't allowed to live and breathe in the same space as Spider-Man Homecoming or Guardians of the Galaxy for that matter. You know what I mean? So, and with Marvel/DC planning to start the Disney Channel, I think even less focus is going to be given on these Netflix shows like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. They're just going to be kind of played on the back burner for the future endeavors.
Do you think it's part of the contract that those shows are then going to go continue on the Disney Channel?
I don't know. That's a really good idea. Question. It's like, are these going to exist outside of the Disney Channel? Like whatever Marvel's got planned after Avengers 4. I think all of these things are coming to a close. That's my personal straw hat or tinfoil hat idea, is that this is the last season you're going to get of Jessica Jones. You know, this next season of Daredevil is going to be the last season you get of Daredevil. And they're going to be retired to the golden age of Marvel, which is the first 10 years. And then when they get to the Disney Channel, their streaming service, you're going to have a whole new slew of new heroes to dig. And these characters are going to be backburned to guest characters, right? Like, let's say Moon Knight comes out on the Disney Channel. You may see Jessica Jones do a cameo, or Daredevil, right? But they're not going to be their own full-blown thing. That's what I think.
Yes. Keep a watchful eyes, fellow masters of the nerdiverse.
Yeah.
This is dangerous waters.
It's man.
I saw the signs when Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, and I was like, I'm out.
Ooh.
I'm out. I'm not gonna watch anymore. But then they but I still have Punisher in my waiting list because there's like a certain three horsemen of the comic apocalypse that I need to see in a show. There's the Punisher.
Yeah.
They need to do Spawn. Wait, is Spawn
Spawn's
Marvel, right?
He's Image, but yeah.
Yeah, well, add him to the Marvel universe. They need just in the comic world to say comic, because there's going to be a day where there's going to be a movie that's going to come out, and then they go, that's a piece of crap. And then the universe, and then next thing you know, it's the domino theory of movies, and then I'll come and I'll be the old man with his tinfoil cap going, see, I told you. Oh, by the way, third person is Blade.
Blade is coming. Blade
TV
is
show.
definitely coming, dude. And I definitely agree with what you're talking about, where there is going to be a time where fads die, right? It happened to the Western. It happened to science fiction, but they don't die. They take a back burner. Right?
When fads die,
I mean,
that's a Prince song.
When superhero movies aren't going anywhere, but will they continue to make this kind of crazy Black Panther billions money forever? No, that's not a smart way to approach that idea. But they're going to take a back burner to whatever the new hotness is in the next 5 or 10 years. It's just how it's going to go. But they're still going to make their money, but it's just not going to be as rabid as it is now. Is Avengers 4 the end of that era? It depends on how Marvel approaches it. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to start doing these at a slower pace? Or are they going to ramp up until they totally burn out the market? which they've done before, right? I mean, Disney has done that before with like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they've buried the hatchet so deep that no one cares anymore. It is no longer lucrative. So they're going to keep pushing out this stuff at high volume until it doesn't make money, and then they'll reinvent themselves with something else. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my weird Jessica Jones in my dope Avengers Infinity War and my pop vinyl of Suri from Black Panther until the fad's dead. This is a golden age to be a comic book nerd right now.
And I'm going to enjoy Battlestar Galactica.
That's okay, because Battlestar Galactica always finds a way to come back, so I'm sure that'll be on sci-fi channels. There's probably some kind of remake in the works. Other than that, man, I just played Fortnite. I just played some Fortnite.
You're becoming a true nerd, laddie.
And I don't know how to feel about the game, dude. I don't, it's weird. It's like, I didn't play any PUBG, but I get it. But I booted up the game and I played maybe like 5 matches, and it's like, okay, that's it. All right, I'm good. I'm going back to Monster Hunter. I didn't get the appeal, you know. I don't know. Maybe I need more time in it. I don't know.
Well, there is a flaw. We can get into Battle Royale games real quick. How much time do we got?
We're about halfway through.
Okay, so
go for it, man.
Should be enough time. So there is a flaw with Battle Royale games, which is the amount of time, and this is in my mind, the amount of time it takes you to first get into a game, and then this is the first flaw: get into a game and then leaving the game, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, I can play about 5 games in 30 minutes, sort of thing. Yeah. Fortnite, I mean, of course, they're different genres, but they're still video games looking for entertainment. There's very little game, I
feel like there's very little reward to
that's what
play,
I'm looking for.
Right?
Yeah, very little reward. And this goes back to a footage that I've seen back in the day when the game Evolve came out. Where
I remember that.
There's a guy playing the game on and he was on his phone while he was playing the game. And this was the start of a trend, focus on League of Legends now, where you play the game, but you're really not actively involved in it. Mm-hmm. So then now you get to Fortnite, where there is a very viable gameplay strategy of sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
And that's
camping is a real thing in that game, dude. Like, you find your little cut, wait maybe like 15, 20 minutes, you're top 50. You didn't do anything, right? Right.
And it blows my mind that people are going, I'm going to spend so much money on a game that I'm just going to sit there and then wait for pitter patter of feet and then get blown up.
And that's the problem with kind of competitive gaming, is that you need to be constantly involved in the competition. Right. And certain games allow you to do that. Like, I know playing sports games is like being on defense is the mental break for me, because everybody wants to be on offense, right? Everybody wants to do offense, but when it comes to defense, you're like, all right, I'm going to pick my basic defense plays. And don't give it a lot of thought. Where, like you said, like guys will go on to PUBG or to Fortnite and camp. I did my first game. I made top 20 and I camped. I got me a nice gun. I got me a nice revolver. I found me a little hut in the middle of the woods. I made sure I was within the little collapsing circle. I made top 20. I was like, this is stupid. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to run and gun it. So I went out there like Rambo and got my ass shot off by a sniper.
Yeah, it's a game that punishes those who are like used to Call of Duty or like want to run and gun. And unfortunately, I see Battle Royale as like a fad. That's gonna go away.
It's a big. Because I know there's fans out there and I get it.
I know,
but it's a big fad, dude. It's a big money making fad. You know what I'm saying?
And what's gonna happen is that because I've listened to the creator of PUBG talk, and he's got some cojones, we will say, about like people ripping off his type of gameplay, his game, because he says that he's created the battle royale system.
Wow. Okay.
And that there's people ripping him off Fortnite, and this is like, and he's talked about like legal representation.
Like
and
calm
he's like,
down, bro. You know.
Yeah, like it's like you do not see Call of Duty, or like you don't see Medal of Honor going around like suing Call of Duty, do you?
No, man. Here's the thing, and it happens with gaming all the time. Is that someone's actually creative, right? Like like Demon Souls and Dark Souls and the guys from Software, they low key curated a genre, right? How many different Souls games are there floating around now? Okay, I'll give him props. He curated the first popular battle royale game. I'll give him that. Popular, mind you. He didn't reinvent the wheel, right? So he needs to calm down and look in his own yard before trying to look over the fence into anybody else's yard. How about you make PUBG better than worried about what Fortnite's doing? And the reason Fortnite is beating PUBG in Twitch right now, because Fortnite is actually a complete game for what it is.
Right, and it's fun to watch.
And it's fun to watch. Where PUBG is it's almost like a graphical mess. And it's not a complete game. The game isn't even fully complete yet. It's still in beta, right? So I'm like, complete your game before you want to go ahead and talk about someone who quote unquote stole your idea.
Yes, and he's helped other people make similar games. For instance,
tell him to relax.
Like H1Z1, I think he helped create King of the Hill.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. So that's enough about him. I'm done with chicken dinner, dude. Right now.
Oh man. Speaking of creators that need to finish what they've started, let's get into the news.
Oh, this is a news podcast? One that just airing grievances?
Man, grievances are long and hard, dude. They'll get you. Oh, man. Speaking of creators who need to get their act together and finish what they've started, Dave Newell from Valve said that they're going to start shipping new games again. Yay.
Ooh.
For those who don't know, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of the story that is Valve. So Valve is a very, very kind of off and on gaming production company along the lines of like Rockstar. I compare them to Rockstar a lot because they don't put out a lot of content, but when they do, it blows up the internet. It blows up the world, right? Mm-hmm. Half-Life is a big one. Portal is a big one, right? Left 4 Dead. Is Left 4 Dead one of theirs?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Right, Left 4 Dead, man. So what happened is these guys got the bright idea to make their own gaming marketplace, right? Which is called Steam. The problem with that is that Steam made an insane amount of money very quickly. It became very popular for PC gamers worldwide, to the point where no matter what game they made, it would be it would be in the red versus what they're bringing in for Steam. So like any greedy businessman, they said, let's stop making games and just focus on this. So a lot of sequels to games that fans are dying to play, Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3, Half-Life 3 for that matter, were put on the back burner forever. We're talking, 10 years since Half-Life 3 was supposed to come out?
Pretty much. Like, I was in high school when, I think Orange Box actually came out.
If they announced Left 4 Dead 3 at E3, I would lose my mind. I love the Left 4 Dead series. It's one of the first co-op games that I actually wanted to play.
I think what would, like, tear down, like, you're looking at people attacking each other would be if finally they did the Half-Life 3.
Dude, that is the forever game, dude. It's like
or
Beyond
even if
Good
they
and Evil
just
2.
teased it. I think it would be more if they just teased it, not like a full-on trailer, but like they have like a trailer for Artifact, which is their card game.
Yeah.
Their Hearthstone competitor. And then you just have like the main character from Half-Life just like go, "Hi, how's it going?" And then he exits
super unceremoniously.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like it's Sony press conference. The show was great. Oh, we have one more thing. They just show you a logo and a 3. People would explode. The internet would explode because There's a guy in the middle of the woods with a knife waiting for this game to come out for 10 years. And he's like, the moment it's announced, he's going to cut a Half-Life symbol into his arm. Cats are super waiting for them to do stuff. And it's been such a disservice to the fans who are just like giving up on it, man. There's guys like, I don't care anymore. I can't wait for Half-Life forever because it's going to make me salty towards all the other games that are coming out. And lately, we've been getting a lot of sequels. Like, Metroid Prime 3 was announced. I'm like, what? You know, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced. What? Right? Shenmue
Warhammer
3.
Vermintide.
I want to play that game. I want to talk about that next. It's only on PC, right? Warhammer Vermintide? It's only on, like...
No, Xbox.
I don't have an Xbox, bruh. I got to get on it. I want to play that because it reminds me of Left 4 Dead. But yeah, Valve is back in the video game making business, and that's only good news. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Speaking of more news, there was a Nintendo Direct this week, and what that is pretty much Nintendo's E3, a baby E3, kind of, where they talk about games that are coming out and what they have planned for the future. There's a lot of things that they showed. They showed the new No More Heroes spinoff, Travis Touchdown Strikes Again, which looked interesting. There's a Dark Souls port with a new amiibo for Dark Souls. It's the Praising the Sun guy, Solaire. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, because that's what everyone's like.
Dude,
I get it.
Don't anger the Souls fans, man. They're already sold out. They're already sold out.
Well, that puts me in my place then. Nintendo's just for nostalgia people.
No, man. Dark Souls has a huge following, man. Those guys are just printing money. But the big thing that was announced at the Nintendo conference for me was that they're making a new Smash game for the Switch, which is Nintendo's fighting game, as it were. And all you guys know how much of a big fighting game mark I am. But for those who played a lot of Smash, the question is it just going to be a port to the Switch? Or is it going to be a full-fledged brand new game? And we kind of don't know at this point. But it would be smart just to make it a port, but it would be cool for it to be an actual full-fledged brand new game with new sprites and new characters and things like that. So we'll have to see, because I haven't bought a Nintendo since the GameCube, because I had no desire in anything Wii. But I do want a Switch, so this is just another reason for me to buy a Switch sometime down the road.
Man, just get an Xbox.
I will get an Xbox when they make a game I want. This is a declaration. They make an exclusive game that's good, that I can play only on Xbox, I'll buy an Xbox. It's as simple as that. Xbox One, their entire game life, had no decent exclusives in my period. In their period. Come at me.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've sworn already that I'm not going to buy a console next generation. I'm going to the PC Master Race. But
I wish I could follow you, man, but I'm broke, bro.
Yeah, I'm broke too. But we'll see what happens.
Man, that's an easy 2 G's. Easy 2 G's.
2 G's?
Easy 2 G's. If you want a decent beast, easy 2 G's, flat.
Maybe man. I'll stick with something. Okay.
I'm just being real. Like, for what I want that thing to be able to run life, man.
Yeah. Run life.
You know what I mean? I want that thing to just run reality.
Yeah.
Speaking of distorted realities, Rob Liefeld sold his Extreme Universe to Netflix for some comic book news. Do you know who Rob Liefeld is? I'm just curious.
No, he sounds like a cool man.
He is not. Rob Liefeld is one of the guys. I'm just going to give you a quick history lesson on Rob Liefeld. He was part of the Magnificent Seven back in the 90s that did a grand exodus from Marvel to create Image Comics. It was Rob Liefeld, it was Jim Lee, it was Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, a bunch of guys, right? The problem, and they all had a very similar art style. Like, they all drew that extreme 1,000 patches, overly buff, overly sexualized characters of the 90s, which tanked 90s comics, honestly. And each of them created their own offshoot universe. I think Mark Silvestri had Top Cow. Jim Lee had Wildstorm, and Rob Liefeld had the Extreme Universe, where it had all these C and D list characters like who had really edgy names like Bloodstorm, and I'm making up names.
Bloodstorm.
Bloodstorm is
like
awesome. See, it's all super edgy, and they're all. There's a famous picture of Captain America that Rob Liefeld drew, where his chest is like 50 feet out from his shoulders. It's super dumb, if you know what I'm talking about. So apparently, he sold all of his comic book creations to Netflix so they can start their own Rob Liefeld Extreme Universe.
All right.
Which I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like. I'm so excited. Because, they're losing Marvel, right? They're losing all of Disney.
Right.
So they need something to fall back on. Rob Liefeld is not the answer, man. Oh, man, I can't wait.
Just give it a chance.
I will definitely give it a chance. You guys could be hearing me on here going nuts when they do the first of the Liefeld Extreme Cinematic Universe and they put that crap out. Oh, man. That's all I wanted to say on that. I got some news for you, Winner.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has been confirmed.
I saw that. Yeah, boy. Come on, bros. Get your Monster Energy drinks. Man.
It's time to bro up. It's time to
get that like Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Yes, the Batman and Robin Forever, the Bane thing that that the one where Uma Thurman, Bane, you just press the button and the juices come to his mouth. That's what you need for Monster Energy drink.
And I also want a Mountain Dew Cold Red version of that, where you just push it and the Cold Red goes right into your veins, bro. Mm-hmm. Black Ops 4. I know, wasn't there one based in Vietnam or something like that?
That's the best one, the first one, in my opinion.
Okay, what era of war do you want Black Ops 4 to be based on?
Oh, Vietnam. We need more Vietnam games, people.
Honestly, you're right. I mean, like,
you have the soundtrack already. Like, you just have, like, Fortunate Son and, like, White Rabbit.
And White Rabbit.
Yeah.
That would be dope, dude. Machine Gun. But that makes sense, honestly, because World War I and II have been done to death.
Uh-huh.
And the only other, like, great American wars, like, outside of, like, the Civil War and the Revolutionary War is Vietnam.
And now, I wouldn't be afraid of a Civil War game. That would be interesting.
The Black Ops of Civil War.
Well, you would have to reinvent how guns would operate in a FPS if you were going to do a Civil War game.
Muskets and shit.
Yeah, you would have to make it to where you shoot the gun once and then it drops. So now you have to find another gun.
It'll be like Reaper from Overwatch.
Yeah.
Just like have two muskets, arms akimbo, and just shoot both and drop them and grab another two.
Yes. Now I have no clue what the universe is going to be for Black Ops 4 because they're now in the future. So,
I wish they leave the future, man. That's so garbage.
Yes. Whenever you should run to the hills when the game goes to the future, unless it's a Spartan warrior.
Straight up. You know what? I totally agree with you on that. If it's not freaking Master Chief, then if they came out with an impressive looking like Halo 7, I would buy a one for that. I love the Halo series, but they haven't.
But you're a traitor. You do not buy an Xbox. You do not buy it in anticipation.
I have no allegiances, dog. When it comes to gaming systems, like I've always had both. Like I had a PS2 and I had an Xbox, right? I had a PS3 and I had an Xbox 360. Before that, I had a GameCube and a PlayStation, right? I even had the Dreamcast. You make games that are good for that system, I will buy it. But if you don't, I will not. Easy as that, Tros.
Yeah. By the way, there are rumors that Black Ops 4, I read this in a different article, that Black Ops 4 will have a battle royale.
Of course it will.
I'm serious. It's
Holy shit.
I looked up Black Ops 4 and there was like 3 articles that were like 16 hours ago. This was up. Man. And it was like, Battle Royale, Call of Duty 4.
I'm so over it, dude. I'm hearing that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to have a Battle Royale of some form.
That would blow my mind.
I like it like Cowboys, a cowboy battle royale where you don't have automatic weapons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
all like Smith and Wessons and like revolvers and stuff and like
right.
and rifles. That'd be dope, dude. On horseback, that'd be cool, dude.
Well, I'm hoping for that they have like they're gearing up towards a Red Dead like GTA Online
You
sort
know
of
they're
thing.
gonna have that, dude.
The problem is they
Oh
need
man,
to
that
work
sounds
on
good.
the loading time.
It's one thing. It's like for long, either you sacrifice graphics for loading, or you sacrifice loading for graphics, right?
Yeah.
If you're pumping out crazy 4K resolution graphics, then your loading time is going to be a bit weird. But the only problem with loading times for these kind of games, let's say the latest Grand Theft Auto and let's say Red Dead Redemption, is that once you're in the world, you're fine. Everything loads up quick. Everything's seamless. But it's going to take you a minute to jump in and jump out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Man. Speaking of things that are going to be soon coming out, Jon Favreau has been tapped to write the live-action Star Wars TV series. I'm guessing for the Disney Channel, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Disney sure likes to keep it in the family, don't they?
Well, it's like
Uh,
find someone that's not in the family. You
damn,
know what I mean?
real talk,
That,
dude.
yes. And that's that's going to be a problem in the future, guys. Mark my words now. What's going to happen is that there's going to be your guys are going to get tired of Star Wars. I know
Yep,
that sounds weird now.
but
And then you're going to
they're
go, well,
doing it.
what other universes? Yeah.
They're doing it to us, man. Like they're making Star. Like I have no desire to see Solo, right? It's just no desire. And I also have no desire to see Episode 9. And I'm like, I grew up with Star Wars, right? It's like it's
Yeah.
such a weird feeling that they're doing too much. Like, and it's almost like it's making me. And you mentioned we talked about it earlier, but Marvel's they really need to slow down on putting these out. They have to make us miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
every year there's a Marvel movie, and the only reason it stays fresh is because it's new characters, right? And the old characters overlap every once in a while. But Star Wars story is a Star Wars story, and anytime you change it, the fans freak out. So
Yep.
every year it's going to be the same story over and over with different characters and different situations. Because if you change it any kind of way, cough, cough, The Last Jedi, then fans freak out and get mad and want to revolt. So what do? You put out the same content until people are burnt out. And 9, if with the feedback that 9 with 8 got, and Favreau doing 9, and Ryan still being signed up to do the next trilogy,
Yes.
I mean, that's a movie a year where I could go for a Star Wars movie maybe once every 3-4 years. Right?
Oh. You
4
see,
or 5 years.
I'm fine. Well, it's like, well, the Marvel thing's different because they're making more than one Marvel movie a year now. They
Yeah.
also have like a TV show. Star Wars, it's like pretty set. Like in the fall of every year, they're going to come out with a movie, right?
And in the winter.
Yeah.
But that's going to change soon if they're making TV shows.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, man, it's an oversaturation. It's too much of a good thing. Like, I can't have ice cream every day. You know what I mean? Like, not just on a health standpoint, but on a taste standpoint, right? Like, I want to miss the flavor of a Marvel movie as much as I want to miss the flavor of a Star Wars film. And TV is just another encroachment on that fandom. It's too much, man. Like I'm starting to be more on your side about that every day. Like, make us miss it. Make us miss it.
Be my fellow old Muppet, old man Muppet.
Speaking of old Muppets.
Hold on, before you go on.
Yeah.
Should we just pick 2 of these to go? And we're almost at an hour.
All right, this will be the last one.
Okay.
one.
Well, I wanted Rob Zombie.
Then we'll do Rob Zombie then. That'll be the
Okay.
last one. If something, yeah. So Rob Zombie confirms that he's going to complete the Devil's Rejects trilogy. With a movie called 3 from Hell, which I can only assume are the 3 main characters from House of a Thousand Corpses and the Devil's Rejects. And I, for one, am curious to see what this man's gonna make. It's been a while since Halloween 2.
Right. I have a love-hate relationship with. Well, it's like Halloween 2 wasn't his last film, if you might know.
Oh,
you know what?
Oh my God! It was that
he
one
did
weird
13.
one.
The one that got an NC-17 rating.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That one was dumb, dude. I saw
Yeah.
I was half awake
you saw
watching
that.
Dude, I left the TV on, and it was on, and I was like half asleep, and I was like, I saw a lady give birth to a goat that then turned into Beelzebub, and I just turned back over and went to sleep, dude. I was like, I'm over it. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but I liked The Devil's Rejects, and in a weird, funky, guilty pleasure way, I liked the House of a Thousand Corpses. You know what I mean? Like, I will watch A House of a Thousand Corpses because it's interesting, and the soundtrack is killer if you're a Rob Zombie fan.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Girl had a baby, Tiny was his name.
You're gonna make me listen to Rob Zombie later.
1, 2, 3.
I like to. I want to get fucked up and do fucked up shit.
I didn't know that was part of the lyrics. I had the
the censored version.
Yeah.
Oh no, man! You gotta go all in. You're gonna make me listen to some Rob Zombie and play Monster Hunter later. But yeah, super looking forward to this one. Rob Zombie.
Hell yeah! I'm the one that you need. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I love Rob.
Don't get me started on Rob, bro.
I only knew one of his songs, which was the one from The Matrix, Dracula.
Dracula is classic, dude.
And then I went to Best Buy, I bought the CD, and then they went, "You're not old enough to buy it."
No, yeah, you need a mustache.
Went, okay, let me go back, and I got the censored version. And like, okay, you can buy it.
You need a full beard to buy Rob Zombie CDs in public. you need a leather jacket with spikes on it to buy that shit.
And like, I'm wondering what my parents were thinking when they hear in my room. Never gonna stop, never gonna stop.
I remember
Dead Girl.
Oh yeah, I remember learning Living Dead Girl on the bass, and I was just I could hear this music, but my mom heard the bass on my amp, and it was like. My mom walked in and was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "I'm rocking out, Mom."
Get out of my room, Mom! I'm learning new metal.
Shut up, Mom! I'm learning metal. And she was like, "All right, sounds clean." And she just walked back into her room.
Sounds clean.
Sounds clean. I love my mom, dude. All right, good news. You ready for some questions?
Yeah.
Yes, man. If you want to ask a question to the nerds at the Nerdiverse, please send those to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. I repeat, for those in the cheap seats, that is mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. You ready for a quick horror movie lightning round, Winter?
Hit me.
All right, we're going to do 4 quick questions, ladies and gentlemen. These are all horror movie related, and we're going to give our answers and a quick reason why. We're going to do one each in row. So you're going to give your one, and I'm going to give my one. They're going to move on to 2. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So number 1. What is your favorite monster movie?
You go first.
I will go first. My favorite monster movie, as I would say creature feature, is The Fly remake, directed by David Cronenberg and starring national treasure himself, Jeff Goldblum. And the reason that is because it was very formative in my youth, and in the weirdest way possible. And it's actually a modern classic. It's like between this and The Thing, which directed by John Carpenter, but I consider that more a science fiction film than a monster movie, even though the monster in that is amazing. But if I had to choose like a straight up creature feature horror film, it's my favorite, it would be The Fly, directed by David Cronenberg. If you've never seen it, I envy you, because watch it. It's amazing. It's horrifically beautiful.
Yeah, this section is hard for me to find one that I like, because a lot of monster movies, I never grew up watching a lot of monster ones. I'm more interested in the other 3 categories.
Okay.
But if I had to choose, it would be An American Werewolf in London.
That counts, my dude. That's a good one, bro. That is a super good one, directed by John Landis.
John Landis.
Yeah, man.
Caddyshack.
Blew your damn mind. It still, to me, has the best werewolf transformation on screen.
Yeah,
to this
I was
day.
actually watching clips of that last night.
Insane, dude. Like, even with all the CG and industrial lights and magic and shit,
Yeah.
nothing beats that, dude. You could feel it. Practical
Or
effects,
I think even what they did for like when the attack scenes were pretty good. Like you don't spend more than like a second on when the wolf attacks, and it's
right.
clear. Like if you slow it down, you'll see that it's like a prop head that they're just shaking back and forth.
But the way it's filmed, dude, it's like,
yeah.
it feels like you're getting attacked. It's very quick. You're seeing like blurs of what's happening, and you're just hit. It's like a shark attack, right? You're just hit, and then you're just destroyed or dead. And it's such smart filming. Such a good movie, dude. All right, number 2. What is your favorite haunted house movie?
Haunted house. That's a hard one. I do like. Wait, what's the one I'm trying to think of? It came out after The Exorcist. Maybe you can help me. No.
It's a good one too, by the way.
Yeah, that is a good one. It's a movie that doesn't get a lot of hype.
Oh.
But it's kind of like a woman moves into a house and she notices like a corpse of a woman staring out the window.
Oh, you're talking about The Sentinel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where she moves into like the apartment, but it's a gateway to hell.
And has Walter Brugman or what? Burgess Meredith.
Yes.
He's my man.
That has Burgess Meredith. That has Beverly D'Angelo. And it also has Jeff Goldblum in it, funny enough.
And Jerry Orbach. Don't forget Jerry Orbach.
Don't forget Jerry Orbach. Dun dun.
And Tom Berenger. But anyways.
That's a good one, dude.
That's a great one. Like, I remember my mom always talking about it. Oh, Christopher Walken's in it. That's weird.
Right? Oh, man, it's such a good movie. So, like you said, it's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
If you've never seen The Sentinel, go watch it, man. It's one of my favorite horror films because it's so subtle.
It's not the 2006 movie, The Sentinel.
No, we're not talking. A lot of these aren't remakes other than The Fly, so go see the original. Go see the original.
Yes.
If I had to pick one, it would be a childhood favorite. It may not be the greatest haunted house movie of all time, but mine is 1987's House, starring Cat
Williams.
Oh, that would be so hilarious. It's the guy from All American Hero. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
Okay,
that guy. Well,
yes.
It's a movie about a guy who's a horror movie writer like Stephen King, and he finds out that his aunt passed away, and he's inherited her house, quote unquote. And he finds out that the house actually killed her, is haunted, and he is next. And it's one of those films that has a comedic flair to it. It's terrifying at times. It still stands up graphically because it's all practical effects. It's one of those movies that as a kid and as a horror geek, I would watch literally every day. It's like one of my favorite horror films of all time. I won't recommend it because you may not like it, but it's a sound film, and I stand up for it every day.
Now, I would put this in like a hybrid category, monster and haunted house. A little movie that is about a cube that you enjoy.
You know what's funny about Hellraiser? Hellraiser is a romance is a romance movie. It's also a haunted house movie, and it's also a monster movie. It's hard to box. It's hard to quote unquote box that one, right?
Right.
Because it's about the infidelity of the wife to the one of the characters' husbands or brothers rather. It's also about the Cenobites, and it's also about pleasure and pain. What is that?
It's your favorite song.
Why do you play Hellraiser every time I mention Hellraiser? Because I mention at least once a podcast, dude.
Well, I think that you should have
make that your ringtone or something.
Yeah. Well, right now it's the Seinfeld theme song, my ringtone. Anyways. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, we can go on.
Jeez. Oh, this is why you're the best, Winter. Favorite
Hmm.
slasher movie? What's your favorite slasher movie?
Oh, would you say that? I don't know. I don't know if I have one. I'm not that. I think a lot of them are too formulaic for me. A
Mm,
lot of times.
that's
But
funny
you
you
go
say that.
ahead.
Okay, I'll give you mine. Funny enough, you say formulaic because mine at the time was
Huh?
very left of center to what the formulaic babysitter stuck in the house. There's a guy with a knife trope, right? Which
Yeah.
is a lot of slashers. And mine's is the very first Nightmare on Elm Street. That's my favorite
Oh,
slasher film
so
of all
that's
time.
considered a slasher.
Yeah, I would consider it's a cerebral slasher. The
Okay.
character is using a bladed weapon. He's nigh unkillable, and
So it needs
there's
to have a
teenagers in
bladed weapon.
danger.
Okay.
You know, and it's like
Oh.
and that's my absolute favorite slasher because I thought about so many like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, uh, Blood and Black Lace is one of my favorite old school slasher films. Black Christmas is another really good slasher film. And there's
Yeah.
so many more that I could name, but I love the psychological trip that Wes Craven takes you on for Nightmare on Elm Street, where it's such a cerebral film, and it's trying to tell something a lot deeper than babysitter gets killed by maniac, right? It's such a layered movie. The first one, mind you, all the sequels were crap in my opinion, outside of New Nightmare, but the very first movie scared the crap out of me as a kid. And growing up and seeing it over and over and over, there's new layers to it every time you watch it. It's my absolute favorite.
Right. I don't have a particular like horror slasher thing, but a movie because I don't really have a favorite out there. I prefer like more like cerebral like cop chasing
Okay.
someone, killing someone.
Yeah.
For instance, this isn't the one I picked, but I think it's called Blood Pool with Clint Eastwood and Jeff Daniels, and at the end, it's like Jeff Daniels is the killer all along, and
Oh,
that
okay.
blew my mind away because I'm like, well, that's the guy from Dumb and Dumber. He's a good guy. What is
How?
he doing?
How is he
Yeah.
the killer? How? Right?
But my favorite slasher because it's about one person killing everyone, and I will not spoil it for you because the movie has an identity of its own.
Very good. And I would
Identity.
consider that a psychological thriller. And
Well, that's what Wikipedia says.
yeah, right. I just called it, but Identity is a slasher film in a weird way. But it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. It makes you think a little bit harder, right? It
Yeah.
makes you put things together. It makes you play along with the story. So I would definitely consider that a slasher film in its own weird way.
Directed by the guy who also did Logan. Okay, moving
James
on.
Mangold. I
Mm-hmm.
wish my last name was Mangold. Lastly, what's your favorite vampire
Yours,
movie?
Woman Silver. Anyway.
Oh, estrogen gold.
Or I would say Women Platinum.
That's
and I'm
dope.
I'm single. I'm
My,
single.
if my last name
Okay.
was Girl Platinum, it would be the dopest. I would own that shit. Favorite vampire movie?
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, yes. Talk to me. Why is it your favorite? I know why, because it's a brilliant, beautiful film, but I'm curious to see where you come from on
Well,
it.
first of all, it was the first rated R movie I ever watched.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It's also I love like the history part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also love like the background of the filmography. All the special effects were done old school.
Yes, they were. Matte paintings, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Like it was so cool like dissecting in my mind like how did they do the weird movement of the girl of like Anthony Hopkins with the cross putting the vampire back into her coffin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just them recording something and then making it go in reverse.
Right.
That
It's so
I'm like,
simple, but it's so brilliant, right?
yeah. And it's like it works out perfectly too.
Dude, like you're speaking to my heart because when I was a kid, I was definitely afraid of horror movies at first.
Yeah.
And then my parents bought me The Making of Thriller, funny enough, to kind of show me how it all works. And you got to see like Rick Baker do the makeup on Michael Jackson for the werewolf scene. And ever since then, I've been hooked on how are they doing that? How's that blood shooting out? What kind of makeup are they using? How are they filming that? And trying to pick that apart in a movie is one of the funnest things to me. So I totally get where you're coming from.
And I'm a super fan of Francis Ford Coppola myself.
Yeah, man. I love Dracula. One of my favorite parts is where he becomes young Dracula. He becomes young Gary Oldman. Yeah. And Nina is walking through the town square, and he's like, "Don't see me." She looks away. And then when he wants her to see her, he goes, "See me." So she makes eye contact with them. Right? So cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
So many like random weird stuff that you did not have to add to the movie to make it good. Right. But it works. And it's like that's what you get with an experienced you have both a film director as well as now I'm finding out slowly a well thought out team around you. Because the director can only go so far.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're making me gush about that movie, about the little subtle things like Dracula's shadow following Keanu Reeves through the hall and then stopping at him, and so good. All right, you put my choice to shame actually, but it's still my favorite.
Wait, let me guess. John Carpenter's Vampires.
I love that movie first of all with James Woods. It's super dumb, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is kind of the same thing, where it's a movie that wanted to reinvent the vampire film. And it's a very rare movie that a lot of people really aren't on, but who knows? It's a big nerdiverse out there. Mine is Innocent Blood. Have you ever heard of this movie?
No.
Innocent Blood. It's a movie about it's based in the modern time, which is like the 90s. And it's about a vampire that lives in New York. And she only kills mob bosses.
Okay, I've seen the picture of this, yeah.
Yeah, and she refuses to spill innocent blood, so all she ever does is feed off mob bosses. But she accidentally leaves one alive, and he becomes a full-blown vampire. And
I'm a vampire!
Hey, I'm a vampire! Hey! And
Don Rickles was in this?
Don Rickles was in it, dude. I think Frank Langella was in it. I may be wrong. But
Anthony LaPaglia?
Yes. Yes. And it's just a very subtle, cute, almost at times, because the vampire is ferocious, but at the same time, kind of likable in a weird way before the whole stupid Twilight nonsense. I definitely recommend Innocent Blood to anyone who's like a vampire head who wants like a different take on it. It's outside of that. I really liked, even though a lot of people hate it, Interview with a Vampire. I really like that one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite vampire films, unfortunately. A lot of people don't like it. They said it was like poorly acted, but I liked a lot of characters in that.
Yeah, they really should have done more movies in Anne Rice's Vampire World, in my opinion.
I don't know why they didn't, right? Because Interview with a Vampire did well, didn't it? Well, they did do
Queen of the Damned as well.
I was just going to say, like, they did do Queen of the Damned, which didn't do that well.
Right. The problem is, it's a rare, as I sadly find out, not a lot of people want to know the history of stuff. So
no, man, they don't have the time, dude. It's like, people are just so quick to want more and more and more. But I thought Anne Rice was going to get like a CW like TV series, it's like The Vampire Diaries or something like that.
Yeah.
Or am I wrong? I don't remember. I thought she was going to get some kind of treatment. But
now, it doesn't help that she had a brief period. I think I'm looking over this one more time.
Yeah, man.
She had a brief, Bob Dylan moment of, quote unquote, coming to Jesus moment, which probably did not help her movies coming out.
Nah, man. That's, unfortunately, religion kind of wrecks a lot of careers, unfortunately.
But she still made books out of it, so that was good.
Hey, man, I mean, you get an idea in your head and then you become Eddie Murphy. Right? Stop being funny.
What? Get arrested for having a
like I said, you get an idea. You get an idea in your head.
What kind of idea is that?
Man, it was the idea he had, bro.
I'm Beverly Hills Cop. I get to do what I want.
I'm gonna get me a prostitute. What?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What you looking forward to this week, man?
I'm looking forward to some more Battlestar Galactica. I'm almost done with the first season. If I get paid on Friday, I'm going to be getting a pre-order 3 days before the game comes out of Sea of Thieves.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
You have to
which
tell
I
me
recommend.
about that.
Yeah. And I'm also planning on listening to, I found a couple of new podcasts that I think people should listen to.
Yeah.
And particularly Show Me the Meaning, which is a wisecrack podcast about movies.
Nice.
And the latest episode is on Donnie Darko,
Ooh,
which has helped me figure out, like, yeah, there's a whole team behind the making of a movie.
If you guys want, you can listen to the Donnie Darko review on mastersofthenerdiverse.com.
There you go.
MOTN reviews. We did a review on Donnie Darko. And we got in deep. We got in elbow deep. Love that movie. That's cool, man. For me, I don't remember, but does Ready Player One come out this weekend?
I don't know. I'm out of the grid for that.
I feel you, dude. But if that comes out this week, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to playing some more Monhun. Kind of want to see Tomb Raider because I want to see what kind of train wreck it is. I'm very curious on how they wreck that. And in regards to video games, I might just jump into some more Fortnite. I don't know. Other than that, I'm just looking forward to see what this week does and watch some more movies. I'm going to watch Hackers later on tonight for reasons you'll see later on. But yeah, looking forward to that. Man, any closing thoughts before we seal this one up?
Yes. Look on the web. This is my closing thoughts. Look on the web for AMC Movie Theaters, which will be hosting a 31-hour Marvel Universe marathon for Avengers: Infinity War.
I am not down for that, Doug.
All right.
I am not down. I've done it once. Yeah. I did it for Avengers, and I would not do it again.
18 hours of superhero universe, and you can look back and go, this is a problem.
By the time Infinity War starts, you will be sick and tired of the entire universe. Why would you do that? It's too much at once, dude. It's like, eat this 5-pound cheesecake, and then at the end, we're going to give you a slice of chocolate. You're going to want to just throw yourself into a river at that point, man. That's too much, dude. It's like, that ruins it. Like, why would they? Anyway, I feel you on that, and I've done it before. I went through Iron Man all the way up to Avengers at the ESPN Downtown Disney for Avengers, and I had to go see Avengers again because I was like, my eyes were already bugged out to watch the movie. Like, what happened? But yeah, man, do that. For mine, I will say watch more anime, watch more quality anime this week. Do me a favor and watch more anime. Just watch it. Don't play anime games, though. Just watch the animes. Creepy voices. You can always find this podcast.
Yeah.
On iTunes.
Was I supposed to add something, by the way?
No, man. I want to keep it awkward. You can always find this awkward podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and recently Google Play. I would like to ask you to leave a comment, leave a like, or even, dare I say, subscribe to the channel. This helps us immensely to get more visibility and helps grow the show. And if you want to support us in a more personal way, a more personal manner, check out our Patreon, where I have things up there that I don't know how I'm going to do, but as soon as I see the first dollar, I'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G.
And I'm your host, Winter Sturdivant.
And I will always ask you to take that one step beyond.